Welcome to the last session of today, enabling healthcare systems to implement the next generation of medicine, a crucial shift. Well, healthcare is also a very personal topic, as it is very different from country to country and often organized on the regional level. Furthermore, the focus of personalized medicine could vary strongly between different continents and countries. And you will see that this session is really international. And we are welcoming experts from Argentina, USA, South Africa, India, and Estonia. We have also 2 questions for the audience in this session. So again, you find this on your right side in the button interactivity. And we would like to know from you, what is the main application of personalized medicine needed in your country? And what is the most important challenge to be addressed to make personalized medicine possible in your country? Well, and I'm grateful to have also a wonderful moderator here for this session, Professor Eduardo Casap. Eduardo is the founder and first president of the Latin American and Caribbean Society of Medical Oncology, past president of the International Union Against Cancer, and member of the executive committee of the National Cancer Institute of Argentina. Thank you again, Eduardo, for your help in the scientific committee for this conference. And well, I hand over to you for the moderation of this session. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Monica, and thank you, you and all the organizers for inviting me to participate in this fantastic meeting. Well, implementation of personalized medicine in healthcare systems is really one of the challenges for personalized medicine application, not only at the country levels, but also around the world. We have today, first, 2 outstanding speakers. Professor Atun will provide us his insights from a public health system expert perspective in the design and implementation of healthcare systems reform. And Professor Mespalu will show us how genomics and technologies are changing medicine, also public health and disease prevention. Later on, we will have a panel discussion at which we expect to have interaction and also trying to challenge our speakers about how implementation could be feasible in the current environment. With us, we have also a very important leader in the South African region, Rizwana. Thank you very much for your participation, and we hope that we will have you with us in the discussion. The first speaker is Professor Rifat Atun, Professor of Global Health Systems at Harvard University and Faculty Chair of the Harvard Ministerial Leadership Program. But more than that, Professor Atun is a global leader in the implementation of health systems reform and modifications, and also he has advised more than 30 governments in these aspects and collaborated very, very strongly with World Bank, WHO, and many other organizations. His curriculum is like a book, but much more than that is listen, Rifat, with his expertise and capabilities. Rifat, please, you have the floor.
Great. Thank you, Eduardo. And first of all, I'd like to thank and share my appreciation to International Consortium on Personalized Medicine for inviting me to contribute to this panel. It's a real great pleasure to be on the panel with you, with Andres and also with Rizwana. I look forward to our panel discussion. I'll share my screen. So I'm going to talk about health systems and personalized medicine. Initially, I'll focus briefly on the problems of precision medicine, and then talk about emerging innovations, then discuss where health systems are in relation to innovation and what the challenges are, and then think about what one can do to create an ecosystem for precision medicine. So precision medicine or personalized medicine, there are various terms used, is essentially a major transition from mass medicine, where one-size-fits-all solutions exist, to highly targeted and highly personalized, even individualized interventions. Now, that's quite a fundamental shift in the way we design health systems, payment systems, organization of healthcare delivery, as well as diagnostics, treatments, etc. It's a fundamental transition from old to new. What does this mean in practice? Well, the personalization of treatment and care, this is happening and has happened over time. So initially, the focus was very much on developing interventions or treatments for populations, for example, antibiotics or vaccines, where many people benefited without side effects, but some benefited with some side effects, but a substantial proportion did not benefit, but did not have side effects, but a proportion did not benefit, but suffered side effects. So the interventions benefited a large segment of the population, but not everyone, with some having adverse consequences. Then we transitioned to development of more targeted interventions, for example, monoclonal antibodies or biologics, with greater precision in healthcare, where we can see a far greater proportion of individuals benefiting, improving outcomes without side effects, and less number of people and less number of individuals actually not having side effects or not benefiting. And now the journey has taken us to highly individualized treatments and interventions, for example, immunotherapy or gene replacement, where the benefits are very high for the individual concerned. Those not benefiting are quite low, and those who do not benefit and have low side effects have side effects is actually very small. So we're seeing not just highly targeted interventions, but actually far greater benefit for the individual and the populations concerned. Of course, this has implications for health systems, because if there are less side effects and if there are greater outcomes, then we are creating far greater value for the individual, for populations, and for the system as a whole. Now, potential benefits of personalized medicine or precision medicine is that we see greater clinical effectiveness, greater efficiency in care, because we're targeting the right individuals with the right pathway, for example, greater responsiveness to patients, and less side effects, which means better health outcomes and greater economic benefits, so far greater value for all concerned. And there are many successful examples of precision medicines in the field of oncology, for example. Trastuzumab, a highly celebrated monoclonal antibody that really transformed treatment of breast cancer. Ivacaftor, gene-based therapy for cystic fibrosis. Gleevec, that is widely used for targeted therapy, that is widely used for Philadelphia chromosome-positive chronic myelogenous leukemia and for acute lymphoblastic leukemia. And more recently, highly personalized gene therapy and immunotherapy, Strenvelis for combined severe immune deficiency, and CAR T cells, again, immunotherapy that is highly designed for individual that also requires very sophisticated setup in the health system for its delivery for refractory non-Hodgkin lymphoma and refractory ALL. So some great success stories, and there are many trials in the pipeline that are producing similar medications or treatments of this class and group. Now, there are a number of important considerations when we're transitioning to precision medicine. First of all, much of the science is based on genotype, but there is a big genotype to phenotype heterogeneity. We don't have enough data, or we've not been able to use appropriately and efficiently the available data on phenotype heterogeneity. Biomarkers are being developed, and there's room for developing more sophisticated and targeted biomarkers. We need data on evidence, on outcomes and costs to demonstrate not just what the cost of the interventions, but actually the value generated for the individual and for the health services, for the health system and the society as a whole. We need capable health systems. I gave the example of CAR T cells. To deliver that, one is a very sophisticated center from beginning all the way to the end that needs to be functioning. We need an enabling ecosystem for innovation, not just for the generation of innovation, but also its uptake. And we also need appropriate regulations that enable the introduction of these innovations in a timely manner to create value. So where are we in relation to health systems? Well, a few years ago, actually at a keynote in College de France, I conceived, in Paris, I conceived this term asymmetric innovation, where I argued that scientific developments have really spurred and delivered unprecedented delivery of innovations. And we've seen many treatments that I talked about. New medicines, new medical devices, new diagnostics, but innovation and delivery on the system side has faltered. So we have this asymmetry, lots of great science, lots of delivery innovations for diagnostics and medicines, but not much happening in relation to innovation in delivery. And for example, we have point of care diagnostics, laboratory on a chip, big data, analytics, machine learning, again, precision medicine, immunotherapy, gene therapy, so on and so forth. But on the delivery side, health system structures have not changed very much. This is Hôtel Dieu de Paris, which is the oldest hospital in the world, established in 651, 7th century. Still functioning today as a hospital. So when I say that health system structures have not changed, I'm not exaggerating. So we have an innovation challenge. On the one hand, we have incredible science and innovation in relation to diagnostics and treatment, but on delivery, we've not really created an ecosystem for the adoption and diffusion of these innovations for precision medicine. Why is this important? Because it's important because around 10 to 16% of health expenditures are on medicines, and this is where all the innovation is happening, and this is also where the biggest discussions are in relation to cost and price and cost management, whereas the delivery side, the remaining 80%, is where the innovation is not happening, and this is where huge inefficiencies lie, and where the system is still really not fit for purpose. So we have a challenge of asymmetric innovation. The second challenge is this misalignment of policies. On the one hand, we have industrial policies encouraging innovation, but health policies constrain innovation or adoption of innovations. And economic policies do not really consider health systems' contributions to the broader economy and to society, as we've seen with COVID-19. So we need to create an ecosystem for greater adoption and diffusion of precision medicine, and a number of transitions that are taking place. that will make this possible. The first transition is digitization. So we're able to combine and link data from genomic and proteomic level all the way to individual level, combine this with data across the care continuum from prevention, diagnosis, and treatment in different domains at home, community, primary care, and hospitals. Then we can put all of this into an integrated big data set and use data mining, analytics, and process automation to understand better associations between genotype and phenotype. But we can go a stage further. We can introduce, we can use these associations to stratify the population into risk groups and come up with risk profiling to better understand who might benefit from an intervention. In fact, we could go a stage further than decision support systems by using artificial intelligence and machine learning to create a dynamic and interactive care process that learns from the implementation and provides feedback to decision support systems to optimize critical pathways, but also to optimize resources in the delivery of diagnostics and treatments. The second transition is the transition from a single therapeutic agent. So for example, pharma companies selling products to development of multimodal solutions for subgroups or for populations. This is quite important because this enables us to pull together a range of capabilities to provide the targeted interventions to individuals or to subpopulations. The third is automation, and uptake of this has been accelerated during the COVID-19 pandemic. Use of chatbots complemented with artificial intelligence, or use of robotics, again, to optimize the care process and help individuals. Fourth is a very important transition in us thinking about provider payment systems. Many systems are still focused on the structures where the money follows provider institutions, hospital, or money follows inputs such as medicine or technology. Some countries have transitioned to what I call a functional focus where payment follows activity. For example, fee for service, which is highly inflationary, or payment for disease-related groups, such DRGs, for example. Again, this is a good transition, but this creates a lot of volume, but not necessarily improvement in outcomes. There's now a transition to a value focus, where the remuneration or payment or the reward follows value, improvements in individual outcomes and also population outcomes. Again, to realize the promise of precision medicine or personalized healthcare. The fifth transition is remote diagnosis and care. As I showed earlier, one can actually develop digital pathways and to enable patients to follow these pathways and monitor them remotely and real time. And finally, with wearables and smartphone sensors, we can collect data anywhere and everywhere in real time and provide feedback to the individuals, but also care providers. So all of these transitions are really creating an enabling environment for us to transition to value-based health systems with digital and real-time analytics, with stratification of populations and risk adjustment, with bundling of care, bringing together multiple interventions to produce solutions, transitioning to outcome-based payments rather than payment for inputs, and developing networks, integrated care networks, to enable a seamless journey of patients and behavior change on the side of the providers as well as payers. So all of these transitions are creating an enabling ecosystem for precision medicine and precision health. And another very important development recently in the G20 declaration last year, in the leaders' declaration, there was a mention of the need to have well-functioning functioning value-based and inclusive health systems that are critical for achieving universal health coverage. So there is an opportunity now to think about transitioning from inputs to value, where precision medicine and personalized healthcare can play a major role. So how do we accelerate this transition? Well, creation of this ecosystem will require collaboration of universities, that is the hotbed for science and research, but collaboration with industry that can take this research and develop it into and translate it into products and solutions. But we need the health system to be part of this construct so that these innovations can be introduced and scaled up and diffused to realize benefits. So this university, industry, and health system collaboration with broader support from the government and civil society is critical to generate an ecosystem for generation and uptake of precision medicine. And we are already seeing examples of this. In the US, for example, the Precision Medicine Initiative is bringing together biobanks, engagement of populations, data and analytic capabilities, healthcare providers, centers for bringing on board participants, and use of technologies, and bringing and merging this with genomics. Similar initiatives in the UK, in the United Kingdom, with Genomics England, that are bringing genomic capabilities with healthcare services and research institutions and universities. And also in France, the ambitious Genomic Medicine 2025 initiative has created a network of whole genome sequencing services that will enable France to undertake more than 230,000 whole genome sequences each year, but also combining this with appropriate data systems to harness this information. So going forward, what personalized medicine and precision medicine means that in the future, there will be just one health intervention. Yours. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Rifat, for this fantastic view from a true global expert.